Ebusafo ahaye Juicy News mima obibia akwawa ahade latest hot nkwa ena me de bremo enunti so nya subscribe to channel dia bomodi an share obe subscribe do be an say obe click the subscribe button no na wabele notification we an sa video fufu bia be upload no we the first person once ebe kan sa video afi we na wa like video no give us a thumbs up na afi share ma wo fufuro so na wenye bi hwe na wo nsɛmwa ekoso ewo Ghana bemu hano afi yembura ye nsɛmwa abeto yepno so eye Ken Ufurata former finance minister Akufo Addo government na ne ho akadwa mu eye special prosecutor ye Kisi Ejabin we declare eye Ken Ufurata wanted just say ye hwɛ ne de den na wo de kwadudodo na abo eye Ken Ufurata na ye hwɛ ye story ye Joy News when they be to dwa or say special prosecutor declares former finance minister Ken Ufurata wanted over SML deal, national cathedral disbursement, among others. To say kwadu bebre na yede abo eye Ken Ufurata to say ye nyane de dende or ye wanted. Na information kakra ho de say ye Ken Ufurata 2nd January they say sada na wo tu kwan ko amanone nti sia ye declare wanted or amanone a woje ayarhe according to the lawyer and some APP banon. Ba eye Kisi Ejabin wode ensem bebre atudwa fa ye Ken Ufurata kwadu de abono national cathedral ho sensem sika ede ko wure mu ni ade nya kyese kwadu bebre na wode abo eye Ken Ufurata ese wotimi ba na wobeyi ne ho ano na intentemara yankutie ye Kisi Ejabin sede woda asase wo nyina dia wo declare ye Ken Ufurata wanted kyese ye nyano de den nya asem ketwa yankutie ye Kisi Ejabin sede wode ensem wo nyina atudwa yentie ni nsem no
as to state that the purported raid on Mr. Ofori Atta's residence was staged, or at best, an imposter action in an attempt to court disfavor for the OSP and to derail the investigation. You know us very well. The OSP is never deterred by such occurrences, and the investigations will continue as by law prescribed. These occurrences and the OSP's intelligence, which will not be revealed at this time for fear of compromising the investigation, are very instructive as not to put premium on Mr. Ofori Atta's alleged imminent peril should he travel back to the jurisdiction. In any case, the purported medical letter transmitted through his lawyers to the OSP did not state so or demonstrate so. The OSP is unconvinced that the purported medical letter transmitted by Mr. Ofori Atta through his lawyers to the OSP represents a medical report to the effect that Mr. Ofori Atta is incapacitated or is so sickly and invalid to the extent that he is physically unable to return to the jurisdiction without imperiling his life. No serious law enforcement agency, and certainly not the OSP, will be convinced that the purported medical letter stops it from demanding the physical appearance of Mr. Ofori Atta before it in the described circumstances. We are of the firm conviction here that this is only a ruse employed by Mr. Ofori Atta in aid of his intention to avoid returning to the jurisdiction and to personally answer questions in respect of the investigations. We are convinced that the real intention of Mr. Ofori Atta is what was communicated to the OSP in the very first letter transmitted by his lawyers on 31 January 2025. That is, he has left the jurisdiction indefinitely. That was what was communicated to us at the first instance. And that is his intention. He has no intention of willingly returning to the jurisdiction. That much is clear to us. Consequently, ladies and gentlemen of the media, the OSP declares Kenneth Ofori Atta a wanted person. He is a fugitive from justice. The OSP will take all necessary legal steps to secure his return to the jurisdiction and attendance at the OSP. And this is to Mr. Ofori Atta. You have two choices. You can either return to the jurisdiction voluntarily, or the OSP will enforce your return. Another case update. The OSP has also commenced investigation into suspected corruption and corruption-related offenses in respect of the operations of the Minerals Income Investment Fund, MIF, especially regarding payments made in respect of Ejapa Royalties Limited, Small-Scale Mining Incubation Program, Quarry Value Addition Program, Asante Gold Corporation, Electrochem Ghana Limited, the lithium asset, that is Projected Lithium Focused Exploration and Development Corporation, Gold Asset 2, that is Enchi Gold Project, and all other investments by MIF, and funds expended on the chairman of the board of directors, the operational funds of MIF, purchase of parcel of land for intended office building, and all contracts and agreements entered into by MIF, and all publications, especially international publications by MIF. We are withholding the names of those under investigation for now, by targets 2 former officials and 2 serving officials of the fund. Third, the OSP has also commenced investigation into suspected corruption and corruption-related offenses in respect of an alleged embezzlement of 1.3 billion cedis from the Unified Petroleum Pricing Fund, UPPF, at the National Petroleum Authority, NPA. The investigation primarily targets the following persons: the coordinator of the UPPF, Mr. Jacob Amwa, NPA staff Frida Tando, NPA staff Wendy Ashon Newman, and the former chief executive of NPA, Mustafa Abdul Hamid. And lastly, it will be recalled that in the last quarter of 2023, the OSP and the Controller and Accountant General's Department jointly commenced corruption risk assessment and investigation into suspected corruption and corruption-related offenses in respect of government payroll administration. It is also recalled that the assessment and investigation are especially aimed at isolating and removing the names of non-existent, ineligible, and undeserving persons from government payroll, recovering wrongful payments and unearned salaries, prosecuting persons suspected to be culpable for any offenses, and the institution and implementation of internal controls in respect of payroll processing and payment of salaries. We further recall, as you do remember, that to facilitate the rollout of the investigation and assessment throughout the country, a pilot exercise was carried out in the northern region, covering educational institutions under Ghana Education Service and the Tamale Teaching Hospital, by a joint team comprising investigators, tracers, and assessors from the OSP and selected staff of the Payroll Processing Directorate of the Controller and Accountant General's Department between December 2023 and April 2024. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, I'm glad to announce to you that after thorough investigation, the OSP is now ready to commence the prosecution of persons suspected to have engaged in such conduct. So earlier today, I directed the Director of Prosecutions at the OSP to file criminal charges at the High Court in Tamale against the following 6 persons. 1. Yakubu Tahidu, a former teacher at Balogu MA Junior High School, Yendi, in the northern region. 2. Abdullahi Abubakari Sadiq, an integrated personnel payroll database coordinator of the Ghana Education Service in Yendi, northern region. 3. Sammy Suk, a schools improvement support officer for the Yendi North Circuit, northern region. Mohammed Yusuf J, one-time headmaster of the Balogu MA Junior High School, Yendi, northern region. Stafford Kolete Azude Barris, an assistant chief accounts technician at the Controller and Accountant General's Department, Accra, the Greater Accra region. And Osman Isahaku, a one-time headmaster of Balogu MA Junior High School, Yendi, northern region. The main charges are corruption of a public officer and corruption by a public officer involving the manipulation and siphoning of funds designed as fictitious salaries from the government payroll. The identified persons would soon be arraigned before the High Court in Tamale. Thank you for coming. Any questions? Yes, sir. It's always Elton. Yes, sir. Sorry.
Thank you very much, sir. So, you described Ofori Atta as a primitive running away from justice. You declared him wanted, meaning you've come to the conclusion he has questions to answer regarding the investigations that you have conducted. You referenced the National Cathedral, the SML, and others. Are you able to provide us some details as to his exact role in these matters that you come to the conclusion that you have questions to answer? Secondly, declaring him wanted. The claim there is that he is on an indefinite medical leave. And I'm wondering, I mean, is there no room to allow him access to speak rather than take this route to declare him wanted?
Let me answer. We'll carry the media along when we are ready to disclose the nature of his involvement in these investigations. When we started, it was 4, but by last week, it had become 5. So we're still opening it up. The more we go into it, the more we see things. So when we are ready to state, we we either come here to address you, or we put it by way of publication on our website or directly to the media. Yes, indefinite medical review. We are not without the milk of human kindness to appreciate and reckon a person's medical condition. But when you conduct yourself in a certain way to suggest that all you are doing is just a ruse and that you have no intention of returning to the jurisdiction, that is the conclusion we have come to. You see, as I said, the first communication to us was clear, that he was away indefinitely from the jurisdiction on medical grounds. Then we pushed further. You cannot tell us that you've gone out of the jurisdiction on medical grounds on your say-so. If you're a serious law enforcement agency, would you just take a person's declaration that, oh, I am so much an invalid that I'm unable to come? You would demand, Elton, you would demand to know more, right? And that is exactly what we did. So we pushed. The response that came was unconvincing. That he may, at some future time, undergo possible surgical procedure. And I said something which is very crucial. There's intelligence available to us, which we do not want to reveal now because it may compromise the investigation. That tells us that, and that's what I stated, that it is just a ruse, that he can travel to the jurisdiction. It's not as if he comes to the jurisdiction, we'll promptly lock him up and throw the key away. It is a process we go through. This is a democratic institution with very well prescribed constitutional and statutory legal processes. So what do you fear coming in to answer questions? You can reschedule your appointments in such a way that you can come in and go. We will not say you should stay and die at all costs. What kind of persons will we be? So that is not the issue. The issue is your expressed intention that you've gone away definitely. What do you have to show for it? We get a purported medical letter, a very sketchy one, which tells us that you have scheduled appointments which you need to attend and that you are being reviewed, and there are some future dates you would maybe undergo some surgical procedure. For us, this is unconvincing. And as I stated in my briefing, the letter doesn't say you are so much of an invalid that you can't enplane and travel to the jurisdiction. We all fall sick at some point, and we all go seek medical attention wherever. But if you are not at the point of death, if you are not bedridden, if you are not on a stretcher, this is a ruse, and we are unconvinced. As far as we are concerned, he just doesn't want to return to the jurisdiction voluntarily. And we have given him the chance so to do voluntarily, failing which we will pull him to Ghana. Yes, sir.
My name is Ibrahim Hassan. I work with Youth One
Sammy, your pen doesn't write. Go on.
Yes, so.
Ene, yetimi atene wiase aka kire ye ho se Akufo Addo yetimi abobesia in excess of 600 billion. Is it 7 or 600? Onon kwa abobesia 600, more than 600
yes.
Billion. 643 billion. Oni Bawumia. Sasika no, kwabna. Se opa enkwa kire o, enko President Akufo time. Enko Mahama, a friend say, enko Mills. Any Mahama first term Mahama last term or the a friend is saying or the call ya or the bay. Nebusi oboy in 54 billion. Kwabena, the 54 billion no say even on Kataneni no moon content Ghana for without even looking into the accounting to the people documents now. Or the bed dia dance yes me nyuma ma ye no. Keke on fire nani on Kataneni no mo boa. Kwabena, menim say Ghana ni bia betimi kura de nsa church ni o ma bebre so. Sanyoma ya ekadi ye bobodi ni nyina. Akufo Addo has none to his credit. Akufo Addo doesn't have anything that equalizes a Circle Dubai interchange. He has nothing like that to his credit.
Say Kakasinitia, Memesi interchange is 10.
He has nothing like Kaswa interchange. Even the one that he wants to take glory for, no,
that's Tema Runabout.
No, and no, it is a gift I had chair Mahama. Japanese government gifted Mahama that grant. It's that grant and your loan.
Oya no mando ukupu.
Say a yadia John Mahama na call African Development Bank Koje Bosia. Na Ghana needed to add only 12 billion. This thing I'm talking about is on Google.
Your friends say
you can go to Google, whoever is listening, and check. Say, go to Pokwasi. Just put Pokwasi interchange and put African Development Bank, and you see Mahama taking the loan with Setepe.
Even Ofa Bakuya wa your friend say Okwa Baso Kaya.
I know Mahama. I know Obechebi. Yeah, they flyover. A flyover. Look, these things.
When you say I want to be my MPP for AGA, they say flyover your interchange.
Oh no, you see, even if Kwabena, even if it is, say it is. How does someone contract a loan? Na yemfanka se John Mahama abobe siadodo. Na loan na wo kese wabo akwa bosia na wakwa akobo no. Ni hu project dia wo se yeme na me ye. Ye du so na me kwaka se o mampani kufo ni Millennium Challenge account sika okoje ya de ye N1 no. Eno so e mills na ye ya mo se da bi. So sometimes it's like you are dealing with mad people who just because who could be obey you ntoma no. They are just frustrating and suffocating us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, obey you ntoma.
I'm confused here.
And you know, when you ntoma we are. Okay, we yes akoka ho asema. Yes, hey. Oso abodam adan bodam na bodam na oso di nachi. Meanwhile, sabi edru ba bia oso hwi ni sum.
No den tuma sabe sebo.
Ode tuma ne ba na adwene ya adwuma. Oh, Kwabena, so if you have 54 billion, doing all that projects that we see as a country, yenka e-blocks one sem, yenka your friend is saying markets one sem, KJTI yenka one sem, yenka hospitals in Kwampo. Kwabena, Akufo Addo has no hospital in this country built by him that equalizes that of University of Ghana Medical Center. No. Not even that which has not been completed in your friend is saying Aferi. Shabetifi. A friend is saying
artwork. Ubu soma ofasi ayirebi district hospital ya CAW is artwork ni da honu.
Then you are these are the very people. These are the very people who popularized the word artistic impression. To the extent that they made people believe that everything that was in the Green Book was artistic impression. And it was never true. Today, if you question them about the Green Book, they are not able to tell you why they were saying all those things in opposition. Except to conclude, say, near politics. And you know, Kwabena, just a normal, estimation.
Yeah.
Say, with 54 billion, all these are the projects that John Mahama to me, yeah. They were really, they were really, young canning in a mum. Akufo Addo, what Babetno may so only Bawumia and fear watching Emuniekui. You have nothing that equalizes such projects. But you are telling me that War Bobesia in excess of about 10 times Bosia Mahama boy. 10 times so. Because you can get 540 billion in 643 billion. And still have about 103 billion. Meboa. And then they mass in a year, because 54 billion times 10. 510. Maybe 540. 54 times 10. 540.
Yeah.
So if you subtract 540 from 643, you will get 103. Maybe
yeah.
103 billion. No. What do you find? Say no yenchobu. Not just a project Samahama ye no. E was saying Akufo Addo bosia na obo ye nkwa no. Wotimi de ye maako edu.
Omowia.
Enu nti no enka was saying Kenya circle interchange no maako du e wo Ghana ha e ka baako na adwo mama ye na nka ye du baako.
Omowia. Owiaska.
Kwabra, to simplify it.
Where we are?
Opa with your calculation with your calculator help us. Kwabra. Na divide 643 billion no, by 16 regions. By 16 regions. 643 divides 16. Ebe yese kwabra. Yeche 643 divides 16. That is 40.1875 billion. Into every region biano, into Greater Accra no, they should be able to account for about 40 billion worth of projects. 40 billion. These are things that I don't know mean to me. I am mean to me. And now but trench and you may no. Now because what you want to say, oh, a boy giant quite some penny, Jimmy Forway, and your man penny. Or say 40 billion, a big Ghana. No, 40 billion, 40 billion. Greater Accra and Kwao should get 40 billion worth of projects. Sika yeke ya Bosia Bo, your taxes are yet yankan home. Bosia Bon Kwao, so Asante region is supposed to have seen over 40 billion worth of projects. So if 40 billion enters Asante region, Kwabla, you are there be a friend of physical decentralization. Fiscal, Sika ye chichem, eco regions. Where are making your taxes are yet yankan home. So after accruing all this money into your pocket, and then our koji will be to say pension and the sika, the bond that account to, and then our koji.
And so for your Kufubusa question, we say,
I then
or say, Mamma Busa, or say, so what say, memoir amount to your data. Chiramiska or G and the old
yeah, simple. This is why I'm taking my time today. Because me to was Hana and your way goes through my mind. And until I am in Yasa Butreno, some day, but I know why you almost a word to me for. I want to be and I mean, I would say, me church me. Quabra, would ye young decentralizing it further. Divide the 643 by 275. 275. Every constituency, every constituency. In which constituency are we? I Lejokuku, and yes, sir. La Dade Kotopon. Yeah, and then come here to Lejokuku for La Dade Kotopon. Kwabra, me constituencies, answer. But where currently, me constituency, Ayawa so West Wogon.
Yeah.
The most elite community in Ghana. Aremeyaw.
Oh, yeah. So me idea.
Yeah. So when you divide 643 by 275, every constituency is supposed to get not less than 2.338 billion cedis. And think Ayawa so West Wogono, Akufo Addo and Bawumia are supposed to at least show, in terms of fiscal decentralization, show us projects to the quantum of 4 billion. 2.4 billion. So if I tell you, say, they are not able to account for 10% of the monies they have accrued from 2017 to date, I mean it, and I know why I'm saying that. This is broad daylight armed robbery. You have all these monies under your bed. Now how come say yeah to my way? Look at Gabby. It's not as if we didn't know him. From UK to Ghana, I mean, you could not even afford your rent. These are, look, they are non. Jesus Christ, it's painful, eh? It's very painful. Oh. Then, after chopping all this money, you find it comfortable to go to the bank accounts of those who saved monies for their pension and for their upkeep. Say bi yesi edua enyina na apa bem enunti o siebi na dache wo dia kwa ahomegiem
omoskis Kennedy
na wetimi akwa kofa sa nipa ni sika after dropping all this money on.
Yeah. And you see,
then President Akufo is quiet.
For me, I think say,
look,
and
say we mo omo ya bofo, omo ye nipa boni for me ya wudifo.
Yeah.
Mu ye nipa mo da mo benom. Mu ye nipa boni for.
I'm so sorry. Me are very sorry to say MPP, I don't di dia MPP no, omo trimo odin. Omo ye wudifo. Me wudifo
me rate me ho.
Unim omo di boni a.
You tell me. Jesus Christ.
Omo di boni a, they don't care. So what kum nipa 800 egu. And look at the pay.
Massacre.
She pain this man Mr. Jekum Ediako that even he can't afford 1,000 cedis, a book worth 1,000 cedis. He can't afford
and he had to go through SNET to make money. Obia or no or only businesses.
Listen to Echikwam. Echikwam there senkamini Echikwama.
Jesus Christ.
Somebody in the corporate world in Ghana, you can say your boy Echikwam dia. How much me reducing it to? I mean a pauper. Like, yeah.
One way now. Echikwam. You would think say well you're some street addict be.
Yeah.
And now share what you share the omaye indum. Share the omaye akwai Kofi Amwabin.
Yeah.
Kofi Amwabin
say so one maybe I nye jokes.
No.
And
so sometimes
what one tells is
social media.
Yeah.
There are things that he does. It's like I just have to let people feel say who say I am a share no me WhatsApp.
I always
it's just
watch.
so that I say let's encourage him to at least live life.
No,
because me who could deep down. Me who say no for your town. Yakopo be tia on wasef. Me
who say start
here. We wicked. We are bufo. Bawumia. We wudini. Yakopo be tia on wasef. No wonder. Nyakopo waketua ne bi ne wo ma no Nyakopo be twa ne wase foka
mo
bre bedu be mo pensuo kekekra to ma no so na mo bre Nyakopo be mama bre woni wase fo mo be se na mo di mo be bre me eyo no me a me de to mo so
you see
me de no mo we to mo so woni wase fo
you see how obi a o kan sem bi me hu se MPP na dosa no President Akufo na nipa boni ni pa number 1.
Jesus,
well, you're bad man, papa.
You are promoting this to me?
Unim, me yaw.
You are bold to tell me.
Yaw. Say anya me yere Teresa wu yan kamen ko ho. Oh, Kufo nya nipa.
Jesus.
Me pese me di agro ko nchen ko ni trimo den. So what be trauma and Crawford or mind pain. Mu say. Now based on me ya santini me ya kanni me MPP ni. Now to me tna a hweman Crawford bre. Ekwaya mu say ya we nipa boy we criminal. We criminal.
Promote this to me.
Yeah.
Then what you want? Na obi abefrɛ wo. Ai, Kwabena Agyapong onua no. Hey.
Won de ebon.
Mu ye nipa bone for mu ye mimfo. Hey, mu ye mimfo. Mu ye no me e mo my way.
Ya home.
Mu ye no me.
So you heard a Ora Ajekum Kama CEO ne death when I know so what any tapes in be, but then it brings back that kind of torture. And unim adia yemwa and I'm go read adia bi wo Ghana web and we nim say NAPO adaya odifu asare Rollins time no yes Rollins esi kumase no omu shutu gegegege sa kumnipa 70 go street mu esi whatever esi whatever but you see Ombesho campaign no these are the things that and now but one policy are clear nipa 800 And it seems the whole country is quiet.
I mean, Didi Kaim, I mean, your friend is saying,
Dr. Michael
Addo, Mikado, the Busian for especially Okuneni, Sortiasia, and then the immediate family, particularly, Mahamadu Agyarko. Kwabena Agyapong Kama Center had there. Where press conference am I in the hall? And that's some ketwa. Sometimes we call on your issue and your friend Neja with team kakrama. You know, it was a very
nice man.
It's a very nice, generous man.
Down to earth.
You know. The weekend me will come say Neja me say me nam social media na me say nam say oh there be. Na papa nansen na ja obetu to be money omo e ma ye ho toye na e den na wako free me. But I think so upon further checks and I realized it was true. Onyame fa the currency it's extremely painful. Kwabena wonim near yame yan say these people who were greatly affected by the maladministration of President Akufo Addo, Dr. Bawumia, and Ofori Atta, did not live to see the end of these people. Because at least Ebianka and I think it's really is beginning to really create a serious challenge for all of us. Especially those of us that get democracies, AD. Say, na 4 years, 8 years, to be bano di mwasema. Na unifi this odo so go bo. Na wa sell man no ayedo ope. So come on no tum boko sas say 4 years and 8 years ni be so ya won konsa. It's extremely painful, you know.
But is that the case? Or that is what it has become the status quo?
Yeah,
it ought not to have been the case.
And I make us say
a parliament a year week. And I'm an abasa.
Exactly. I agree.
Akufo Addo didn't have to leave all his terms.
Exactly. I agree with you.
When impeachment is a process.
Yeah. You know. But Kwabena, I'm say, you see, Aban Womube so in 2017. Adwin bonne in the buy, so omo de bebu man no. Kwabena 2018 almost year banking sector clean up. Okay.
Yeah.
Kwabena banking sector clean up no. Oh, we did a lot of research and publications on it. Within the first 3 months, almost 3,000 people died out of the banking sector clean up. 3,000 people. Kwabena unim kofo a omo wuye pa. Omo an omo ye contractors. Omo an omo ye contractors.
Yeah.
Omo akwaje busia e wo bank. What you say? E de akoye adwuma. Okay? Aban no e de ne ka. Wakoye de akoye aban contract. Wakwaje busia wo bank. E de akoye aban contract. E wo say aban tu ono ne ka. No di ko tu bank ne ka. Na bank no e de enya hoden.
No so ne ho to
no.
O timenya bia bo bi.
O kwaje bosia no. O de ni fie ni na japade nyina kosi awowa. Because when you say aban adwuma de e den aban betua.
It's the safest.
O call ye no. Aban contract obaye aban si ontua. Wonim say omo ye contract from 2012 up to 2017 obi no a aban we etua na ka bi no contractor. Not a single contractor or year.
Really?
Yes. Not a single one.
Question.
Into omo
for the public.
Into omo.
No, but minimum say be ajo.
Debbie.
Because till sir omo no be kwa say omo MPP contractors so omo they pay them.
Omo enu ye ti omo buy no. Omo award omo twetwem na omo award fresh contract. And no omo tuaye.
But so a Ghana for
no, they make an say. Say, contractor, why you juma NDC abreso. Ama buying no. aban de ka say aban ni tua enye ono oye adwuma ma aban anya adwuma ma NDC oye adwuma ma aban etu be si so a e so tua ne ka oba wo si wuntua
ba kwabra sisi won kwala ya no mo ye adwuma o ma ye adwuma dada wuntua yi ena foforo aba ena o mo ye adwuma o mo bosom so ye no wuntua o mo ka no mo ye adwuma dada no o mo nya den odwuma ni akatua mfata
o mo suna na agye bosia dada wo bank now banks now see aye week no the na ma banks na aye week ni say
anyway
contractors a o ma agye bosia akoye aban project wo si wuntua tua nkofo ne ka no mo nkotua banks ne ka ena nkofo ne ka wantua bank no so awakogu no ama won mo ye adwuma bank ahwere o madwuma afa contractor na ono di ne sika ekosi awowa odi ne dan ne japade kosi awowa ekoje bosia go ko ya ban project no banks na repossess ni fie ni ne japade no receiver na mo power no say onye we no receiver no agigigi o mo japade into some of the contractors in their last days some of them didn't have a place to even put their head because their houses has been repossessed. Their houses has been repossessed.
This is terrible, eh?
Come na my adwuma ma ban. Tu ameka na menko tua bank ne ka. Na bank ni nya hodin kofo adwuma ungu bank no. Enkofo adwuma beka problem bi eni ho. Mesika wo de say come na unim say edu baby banks no ekokwa ka say okay aban so we see we yes kamaya my what we call a friend is saying a paper a bond, it's just a bond to go to the market. Okay, sika ebia say 9 billion now senka buying ekopedi ebe share banks name no oh dear, just give us a sheet of paper. It's a bond. It's called a guarantee. A bank say okay, we give you this paper, you go to the market, government is underwriting this bond say obi bi odi nisika about supported banks ni bia no obema banks ni sika na mo manya hodin bia no say banks ni ntimi entua da achi bia me aban metua me guarantee ama wo mo it's just a guarantee enye bia enye we enti kwabena paper say Ministry of Finance ever paper actually please grant these banks or please allow these banks to borrow on the back of government's guarantee. If they fail to honor, we the government of Ghana shall undertake to settle this debt. Signed, Ken Ofori Atta, full stop. Kwabena, paper keke. Now I sign the signature. No, the Ministry of Finance stamp is so. Now they are my banks. Now banks, they are core capital market. I could raise 9 billion. No, markets they are recapitalized.
A better than we are more
paper. And yes, paper. We A4 sheet. We can afford us that. Obego banks and I save Kofu Numa.
Every year, I could bob Bissia or bank.
Every year, I could bob 22 billion cedis.
Or no, now on your bank, no.
Kwabena, and Kofu, you know, more dealing no. Kwabena, we more, they are bloodsuckers. Kwabena, they are serious people. Me who be that? Kwabena, yeah, who be that? Me say a buying people we are say. Come na Taliban buying come Afghanistan come here wiki say Taliban come on yes sir. The Taliban government will not do this. So and I was saying Kofu Numa enti kwabena omugo banks no and omu wiki in the entire financial sector enti mekado mu nyina no enya bonds na mo call for mo banks no omugo na mo nyina call for. So that was the first part that weakened the people. Teskafo kroma nyina omutai jojoye from that time going. Omutai jojoye.
And what you almost said that
it was deliberate. It was planned. It was planned. Now who the way forward document in PA before Ejapade no. It was planned. But you see enti pepi eya obika senkofo omo ye smarter. I doubt it. They are not smart because their intention is say let's shift the balance of the wealth towards our people. But they forgot to say, Kwabena, economic factors are interconnected.
It's a value chain.
They are interconnected. What you say? Come now, sir. What's the list over your town for? List over now, penasema. List over our company. List over companies now employ nipa 1,000. So nipa 1,000 no. Omo nya o town for. Ebi ya wo fase nem. Ebi be kura bia unuanum kura unim. Ebi ya onananom.
Ebi su kura yon prafo.
What you say? But because ebi kura yon konfo mo to abama wo party no. But because say wono adwenboni wo tirim na onwini nkwa akirenti no o se me the list of ho bufuo list of company no me guno nipa 1,000 o form ye adwuma nyina nipa 1,000 no so no this of form adwuma no ebi e wo ma into mo dependent for ebi wo yire edu ka mo nyina boma te say nipa 1,000 no directly no nipa 5,000 has been affected onwini hunu nyansa say ade a mi koye even though nipa ba kope e na me say na adwuma me na no aduane but I'm taking 5,000 people's livelihood.
But I think you're also crown deliberate because the more you can impoverish the people, the more during elections you bet me
vulnerable.
Yeah, vulnerable.
Exactly.
Oh man of 50 cities crown he's good to go.
You know.
And that is why now they are paying to people 100 cities, 200 cities.
And omo yesa won kurase no pa. You see, you know, omo we say krum for nani ate.
They are paying. In Christian krum nya no better.
Nti omo de ko
omo some de ko asen.
Omo de ko pa. But at least I see the posture of people. People are not so into it. And now Kwabena nkofo ba jo music edukwa. But you see, Kwabena, this is a very serious battle. To mo we kin nkofo ni nyina nwie ye no. Kwabena, so they made everybody became either to be dependent on a few people. The economy no na nkofo kakra bi nekuta omo. From 2018, 2019, 2020 no nkofo kakra bi nekuta omo. Kwabena, the debt restructure no, it was the last straw. It was the nail in the coffin. In fact, it was what drove a lot of people into early grave. Because it nkofo ate se kama mo a nanka even though omo lose omo livelihood omo dwumani omo companies there, but we are managing surviving because our bond kakra or savings kakra da hawa year dwuma over 30 years. What you say? Sankofo ni nyina no and omo savings banking sector clean up no. Me say banking sector debt restructuring no, debt default no. And then also unilaterally obe fa ni nyina. Enti he afeno enkofo sankofo no they lost hope. They lost hope completely. Because me be companies me adwuma me fa wa be say me companies me adwuma bibia. They say me savings kakra adwuma ma ye adwuma 30 years. No so savings kakra ma ye me didi ho. Na no so aban so afade a ene di ebio kwabna ene me ti ase me ye de me je den. Ti ma me nkona me kwaji ma ho me. So people have died kwabna where mu de na ye kan because they are prominent people because we know them. The people who have died quietly in their sleep.
Yo, it for winning and somewhere abeto yepono so meka say so when you subscribe to channel area but more than say over subscribe say had later and hot news nkwa era me de bremo afi we are now like video give us a thumbs up na afi share ma wo foforo so da when you be here na wo hu and somewhere so e wo Ghana memo ha also bet me otchere wadwen afa ye and some way nyina ho e wo comment box ni mu beti binkabiu in my next video.
Thanks for watching. Like and share the video. You can also drop your comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell to turn on the notification.